after show. It's the show after the show. That's why we call it the after show. See how creative we I know. Hey, listen, glad to be here with you because, an hour just is never long enough. And so that's why we want to make sure that there were things that needed to be talked about, things to discuss, and we always run out of time for it. So we thought, why don't we open up a after show? Now, it might be a little abbreviated today because I got some meetings and some things that I've got to take care of here post-show. But we're still going to get you plenty of after show. More bang for your buck. More bang for your buck today, so don't worry about that. You want to join, you can. Join on over in the chat if you're watching live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I don't know how long we're going to be up on YouTube because the after show on Friday got taken down because they said we violated some sort of policy about COVID. And I don't even remember talking about, maybe a caller said something, but I don't really, it wasn't the subject of the after show. So I don't really know what exactly happened. But we're looking at alternatives anyway because, obviously there's just so much you can do. There's only just so much you can do. Hey, and I got to make sure I mention this. If you are streaming live, you'll want to click share. You'll want to get over and obviously make sure that other folks know about what's happening. But Tom Norton, who we talked to on the full show earlier today, is running for Congress. He is challenging the freshman West Michigan Congressman, the 3rd District, Peter Meijer. And I do the math on that because I almost said Justin Amash because this has been very quick turnover here. But Peter Meijer took that seat, took the oath in January. And Tom and another challenger you'll hear from probably in the next week or so have stepped up and said, look, there's a couple of things, specifically the first vote for impeachment against the president at the time that completely disagreed with. Now, if you want to go back, listen to his conversation we had, it'll be up on the podcast. Just search West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcast. But here it is. There is an event he wanted to remind you of, and we didn't get the chance to talk about this, completely forgot, but it's happening at Cascade Township Recreational Park. That is on Thornapple. If you're familiar with Cascade, you know exactly where that is. It's the big park right on the side of the highway. And it's free, 6 to 8 tomorrow, and he'll be there. It's a meet and greet, talking to you. And of course, you'll be able to see and hear it all. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I got the story about Caitlyn Jenner. I want to get to that first. There was a commercial that came out, and Jeff is actually talking about it right now. I just played it on the air, but I'll play it for folks here because I did think it was. Not only was it, yes, it was entertaining, but it was stinging. It was very. It was very stinging. My initial reaction was to laugh. But at the end of the day, it's no laughing matter what we're talking about right now. It's no laughing matter. What's happened over the course of the last year here in Michigan is criminal in a lot of ways. And there's some hypocrisy with the governor and, of course, with her, the figures that are working her office, as they point out in this. But at the end of the day, there are real people hurting. And I think more so than I think we've ever even heard of just yet. Hang on, let me play some of this for you. I'll get it linked up for you so you can hear. This is called Pure Whitmer. Pure Whitmer. Hang on, let me get it fired up for you so you'll be able to see this and hear it. Put it on the full screen for everybody here. Pure Whitmer.
Here in Michigan, we sacrifice and do the right thing for our fellow Michiganders. When Governor Whitmer mandated we cancel vacations and weddings to help stop COVID-19, we did it. When forced to visit our loved ones through glass windows, as hard as it was, we listened. If, however, you are the governor, and you really want to see your family in Florida, because we all miss our families, then go ahead. And if you get caught, just lie. If the governor says no spring break this year, then that goes for all of us. Except, of course, if you are the person in the governor's office who is in charge of vaccine distribution and needing a girls' trip to Florida, then have a good time. Don't worry about failing to fill out the state's vaccine order, missing the deadline to get an additional 360,000 doses during a massive COVID surge. Your tan will be on point this summer. And as much as we all want to get a condo in sunny Gulf Shores, Alabama, we should heed Whitmer's advice. Unless you're her public health director, then bon voyage. Remember, Michigan, we are all in this together. We play by the rules. Unless you're Governor Whitmer or work for Whitmer. And in that case, play by your own rules. Pure hypocrisy. Pure Whitmer.
That's pretty funny. It's pretty stinging, but at the end of the day, it's also tragic what's happened here in the last year. It really is. I know a lot of folks, feel the same way. I mean, let's just look at the nursing home deaths that have taken place over the last year. Anyway, if you want to see that, we'll put the link on over in the after show on the page. It'll be online. I think they might, in fact, be running commercials for that. I can't play the video for this because we don't have the rights, and I don't know how YouTube's, YouTube is. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on YouTube, honestly, with everything going on. We got our first warning and deleted our video on Friday, so I don't know if that's the platform for us. But he was stopped, or she was stopped over. Let me just say this. I have a hard time with this. Caitlyn Jenner was stopped by a TMZ photographer, a paparazzi, and asked a very simple question. Normally I'd play video for this, but I think we might get tagged if I'm on YouTube, so I'm going to try not to. This is the conversation that ensued. They asked the question very simply, what do you think about this latest discussion about the biological boys playing in girls' sports? The answer, kind of interesting.
Hi, Caitlyn. So there's legislation in various states to ban biological boys who are trans from playing girls' sports in school. What's your opinion on that?
Impact.
Got a dog there.
There's a
Putting the dog into the back seat, just so you know. So this is what's happening on the video. This is where we get into the meat and potatoes of it.
question of fairness. That's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girls' sports in school. It just isn't fair. And we have to protect girls' sports in our school.
But if someone transitions and now identifies as a girl, isn't it delegitimizing their identity to prevent
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Shut him right down. Shut him right down. Have a good day. You know what's interesting about this? The internet exploded. Not so much what Caitlyn Jenner said, but it was the explosion. You know, it's kind of interesting because I thought to myself, it just now, actually, it's very similar to what happened last week when Senator Tim Scott gave the rebuttal to the address to Congress the president gave. And in Senator Tim Scott's speech, Tim Scott said, look, certainly I've been discriminated against, and so I've faced the same challenges a lot of folks have faced. But he said even as the only black Republican senator, there are only two, by the way, who are Democrats. So it's just point this out. But as the only black Republican senator, I've seen discrimination. But I will tell you that America is not a racist country. And then people went crazy. The the trend on Twitter, and for like 8 to 12 hours or whatever it was hashtag Uncle Tim. So Democrats, he says, America's not a racist country, and Democrats, wait a minute, hold my beer. So if Tim Scott, if anybody is qualified to speak on these things, it's probably somebody like Tim Scott. As I'm saying, in this is a very similar way, but he got all kinds of backlash. In a very similar way, the woke mob came from him. But in a very similar way, the woke mob came for Caitlyn Jenner. Wokeness isn't about the truth, because if anybody has the authority or the right to speak about this subject, that would be biological males competing against biological females in sports, even though they're making the transition or have. Caitlyn Jenner, who is an Olympic gold medalist, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, back in '76. I saw the picture today. Amazing. Wasn't Bruce Jenner on the cover of a Wheaties box too? Anyway, if anybody's got the authority and the right to be able to comment about this, I would think we ought to listen at least to the opinion of Caitlyn Jenner. We ought to at least consider it. But people who are sitting in their basements, keyboard warriors, the woke warriors, are going nuts. Literally saying, you don't have a right. You don't have a right to say what you've said. Incredible. These people telling Caitlyn Jenner what that individual's experience should be and how the world should work. I just find that curious to me anyway. Curious. They know better. Just ask them. They will tell you. Similarly, over the weekend, Alyssa Milano, woke actress, she is caught making some sort of statement about race, and I guess as it occurred to one of these instances, George Floyd or whatever, I'm not sure exactly, but there is a video that's floating around, and it is priceless. A black woman says, in pretty much no uncertain terms, you don't know what you're talking about. And although I appreciate, your heart and where you think you're coming from here, not only do you not know what you're talking about, but you probably ought to not comment on such things, because you're doing a disservice to all of us. Here's that comment. I wish I had the video for this for you to hear, for you to see too, but she just makes some absolutely amazing beats. The first part is Alyssa Milano.
For those of us who are not black men, imagine watching the news and seeing how people...
Imagine being a black man and being told by some white lady with a microphone that you and the criminal on TV are one and the same because you look alike. Imagine being told by society that white people can be all that they can be, but you as a black man, the content of your character is completely irrelevant. You are the color of your skin, and that's all you will ever be. Imagine being told you can't figure out how to vote because of the color of your skin. Socioeconomics affects everyone, but apparently you're not as smart as the poorest white person. Lady, I don't want to hate you. I'm a 90s kid. I grew up with you, so I know you're very talented. I understand your heart is in the right place, but you are everything you preach against. You're not helping. You're making things worse. You're causing more division. You're causing more fear. Statistically speaking, I am more likely to be shot and killed by my black elderly neighbor across the street than the cop who patrols my neighborhood. Statistically speaking, homicide by cop is very rare, but people like you find power in fear, so you keep it front page news. You don't have to be a white supremacist. You can be better.
Powerful. And again, they'll probably come for her too, because we have a whole ideology about who gets to speak on what. And it has little to do with who these people are, their experiences, or their identity. And it has a lot more to do with the politics of who these people are, where their politics align. I just think that it's a revelation. We've known this all along, but it's a revelation in wokeness. It's not about truth. It's about something far different. Over the weekend, Senator Mitt Romney, speaking of truth, was booed. It really happened. It happened at a GOP convention in Utah. And boy, you got to wonder, the chicken's coming home to roost, because this thing is in this party specifically. There's going to be some answering for some things.
So what do you think of President Biden's first 100 days, huh? Thank you.
You hear the book. This is him walking up to the podium.
Thank you.
He keeps saying thank you, but I don't think he understands. These aren't, some of them are cheers. There's a couple of people standing up and clapping.
So what do you think about President Biden's first 100 days?
So he tries to begin his speech.
Now, you know me as a person who says what he thinks, and I don't hide the fact that I wasn't a fan of our last president's character issues.
Oh,
And I'm also no fan.
character issues.
Aren't you embarrassed?
Aren't you embarrassed? He says, aren't you embarrassed?
I'm also no fan of the president's.
Well, the one who should be embarrassed should be Senator Romney. I mean, I don't know that I would be booing, but man, this is at a GOP convention. I'm telling you, this is going to be interesting. This party, they think that they've gotten rid of Trump, but I don't think they realized it wasn't about the man; it was about the movement. And now that the gates have opened, the floodgates have opened, it's on. People are very serious about continuing this movement, taking back our country, and I don't think folks like Mitt Romney realize. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, and Liz Cheney and the rest of it, but I don't know what's going to happen necessarily with these people. But as you know, even Peter Myers being primaried here by a couple of opponents. I don't know what's going to happen exactly. I can't tell you. I don't have a crystal ball, but I will tell you that I don't think this movement isn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, sure. My friends, this is the moment I was talking about. Please, thank you. Show respect. Thanks, Dad.
Wow. So the guy has to come up and tell everybody, hey, show respect. Yeah, it calmed the crowd down.
So yeah, I understand that I have a few folks that don't like me terribly much, and I'm sorry about that.
That's an understatement.
Oh yeah, you can boo all you like, but I've been a Republican all my life.
Well, by the way, then he gets into the speech, I guess, and then nevertheless, he goes to walk off, and then he is booed again when he walks off stage. Now he was able to speak at some point, but man, I just don't think people understand this is about much more than the man. It's about a movement when it comes to Trump in this party. I think people are just really I think they're really misunderstanding it. And at the end of the day, I think that'll be an issue for some folks. After show, by the way, I told you about this. We had some issues on YouTube. We're working on that. I'm working on a new platform. It's a great platform. It's not my own. I've used it. I've watched things on. I just discovered that they have a live streaming feature. So I might switch everything live stream over to that platform. I might switch everything over live stream to that platform. Because there's not a shot. I mean, anything can happen. So I'm not going to say it'll never happen, but there's just really, the odds aren't great that it'll get taken down, that anything that we post online will get taken down. And again, I have no idea why Friday's show was taken down. The after show was taken down on Friday from YouTube. So I will continue to post you with updates there. Make sure you go over and you like my Facebook page. You subscribe on YouTube in the meantime. You like Twitter at Mr. Justin Barclay. You can find me in all those places. But also get the good newsletter so we can stay in touch. Go to justinbarclay.com/good news. That's Justin Barclay, BARCLAY.com/good news. And as always, let's stay in touch. No matter what happens, I have a meeting I got to get to today. So we're doing an abbreviated version of the after show, but full bore throughout the rest of the week. Always a pleasure to be here with you. And if you haven't already, make sure you click share if you're watching these online on the streams, or in fact, you get the podcast. No matter where you get your podcast, you can download the after show, the iHeartMedia app, West Michigan Live, or wherever you get your podcast. Just search for us, West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay. All right, that's it. Back tomorrow at 9:06, God willing. Wishing you the best. I hope you have a great day. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.